Hi everybody, it is 11:20. Welcome to Artists and Authors. I'm Austin Reed. Thank you for joining us. Happy Thursday, June the 10th, 2021. We are going to be catching up with Iris Smith along with Vincent. They're going to be joining us live via Zoom. They were actually on our show, I would say maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago, and they have a lot of new announcements to talk about. But first, here is a video. We're going to play this. It is a sample of the screenplay. Check it out.
Family. Friends. Faith. A foundation. These were the bastions which gave 8-year-old Iris her childhood back. She would learn to cook with her grandmothers, but she would learn so much more.
With every hardship, I believe there is goodness around the corner. We experienced joy in my family, despite many struggles, because we had each other. Two are better than one because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up.
Never Alone by Iris Fisher Smith. Order your copy today at irisfsmith.com. Again, that's irisfsmith.com. Order your copy today.
So, of course, that is the book that we talked about in our last interview. And joining us live via Zoom, Iris is up in Washington State, and her producer, Vincent, her director, is in California, right here in the Golden State. Hello, you two. Thanks for coming back.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Hey, how's it going?
We appreciate it.
Hey there. All right, so we have a lot to talk about in this interview. It's basically part two, an update. We're going to be talking about the screenplay and some changes in the project. So, Iris, do you want to kick it off?
Well, what I was going to tell you is that when Vincent and I took on this project together, him as the screenplay writer and me as the book writer, we were going to, maybe write a screenplay with a film idea in mind. But the book is long and there's a lot in it, and we were concerned that we might, miss some information. So we decided to go ahead and do a mini-series. And so we're going to have 7 episodes. And here I'm going to have Vincent talk more about what he's doing. He's doing a great job.
So the situation with that is, like Iris said, the book was just too long, and it would be well over 2 hours if we were to continue down that path.
Okay.
And so, we discussed it, and we decided to go through the miniseries route. And it's about an hour long for each episode. There was just too much information that we couldn't leave out, and it's one of these stories where you take a small piece of it out, and it just changes the entirety of it.
Yeah.
And we didn't want to take away from it because the story is truly incredible, and you don't want to mess with it it's already an incredible story.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then with that, it just allows us to, give us more room and more creative, be more creative with it in a way. And essentially they're both the same story, but they're told in a completely different way. So if you read the book and then go and watch the miniseries once it comes out, it's going to be 2 different experiences. And I think that's worth, putting some time into it, because once you hear the story, it's going to change your life, definitely.
Well, and you know, a 2-hour movie, the average person can't sit through a 2-hour movie. So,
Yeah.
you know,
That's
I
right.
think, yeah, I think that's a great idea to do just a mini series. Now, the question is, are you guys thinking about syndication, like on a streaming service? Where are you hoping to go with this?
I'm hoping for television.
Great.
I have a number of producers and, agents that we're submitting it to
Okay.
with a query letter, and it just went out actually the other day to about 1,000 producers and agents.
Whoa.
And we're hoping for something like the Hallmark Channel or Lifetime that,
Sure.
produces these miniseries.
That's a perfect, yeah, that's a perfect match.
Yeah.
I want to segue into if that's okay, on the audio version by
Yeah.
Audible, because that's an
Yeah.
update.
Yeah. Well, basically what we did was we got a friend of ours who does a lot of commercials to do the Audible version for us. And we have a sample of that. I think we have it there, which you could show. But basically, the Audible version is available on my website. And if they go to my website and they're a new Audible, supplier there, the book will be free with using my link.
Yeah.
Okay?
I think you sent in a video, so we're going to play this right now. It's a sample of the Audible video, so let's check
Right.
that out.
They say strange things do happen, and this was a strange incident. Unfortunately, the trip to Boston was canceled. My grandmother was so disappointed that she decided to come to us by train. Here begins another story. Does anyone remember the famous blackout of 1965 in Niagara Falls? My poor grandmother was stuck in a train coming to visit us during the famous blackout. This incident left the whole eastern seaboard without power. It left over 30 million people and 80,000 square miles without electricity for up to 13 hours. I remember it well. The cause of the failure was due to a safety relay that failed near Niagara Falls. It had to do with being a very cold November night and unusually high demands for power. To sum it up, the transmission lines were heavily overloaded. I can still remember because in November in New England, it got dark around 5 p.m. or so. At the time the blackout occurred, I was up in the attic playing with my dolls, as I was only 6, and my brother Alan was nearby playing with his army men. It was how we entertained ourselves back then. No video games, no computers, only our imaginations and each other, and we loved it.
Man, I'm already hooked just listening to that for a couple of minutes. Going
That gentleman's
back
name,
to
by the way, was Don Helmy, and he's from North Carolina.
okay, very cool, man.
He did an excellent job. He really
Yeah,
did.
yeah. You feel the story, you feel your life, you feel other lives around you, and it's fascinating to hear, growing up without video games, without computers, using your imagination. Wow, what a concept.
Well, that's the emphasis of the story. I'm trying to encourage people to go back to, moving about, going outside, using your imagination. Sitting behind the computer is good in some ways, but
Sure.
you've got to have balance.
So let's see. We've got some more images that we're looking at. So as we move forward, summer is coming up. What is the goal and the game plan, say, within the next 6 months? Where do you guys want to be? What's next?
Well, by July 31st, we hope to have the screenplay miniseries completely written. Is that right, Vincent?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, yeah. And then after that, it's promoting, and sending query letters into producers and agents and looking for somebody to take it on. And I have a number of producers that have said to me that they're looking for this type of a story right now. It's a perfect time because a lot of people right now that are submitting screenplays are submitting films and film versions. There aren't that many submitting miniseries right now, so it's a great time for us to step in and offer this piece.
And I know you also wanted to discuss getting a signed copy of the book, right? That's available right now?
Yeah. Yeah, if they go to my website at irisfsmith.com, they can, order it there, and I can send them a signed copy, On my website, they can get an ebook, they can get my book with a signed copy, and they can also get the Audible version.
Perfect. And then, Vincent, as for what's next with you and this project, are you just kind of super excited? Because, I mean, just from the last time we talked, a lot of things have been moving.
Yeah, it's very exciting. It's super fast paced. You know, at times it's stressful, but I wouldn't go back on it. I wouldn't trade it for anything because, you know, I love doing it. I love writing. It's just an experience that, you know, I'm blessed to be able to have and be able to share with people, you know, Iris's story, and that to me is just very cool.
All right.
But I'm also excited for the future because, you know, you don't know what's coming next, so I'm excited.
Well,
yeah,
you guys,
it's a fun journey.
yeah,
it's a lot of work.
You have a lot of work ahead for you as we are finishing up with some of the pictures that you sent in. Please come back, keep us posted, because this is, like Vincent said, is such an exciting project and a needed project as we're finally, hopefully, coming out of the pandemic. So,
Yeah, thank you, Austin. We appreciate it.
absolutely. Iris Smith, along with Vincent in California. Iris is in Washington State. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time, okay?
Thanks again.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I'm Austin Reed. You're watching Artists and Authors. We'll be back with another guest soon. Stick around.